Hi everyone, a very good evening and welcome to today's live session. This is Gayatri here. So I hope all of you know that today is a concept session and the topics that we are going to be discussing today is averages, ages and partnerships from quantitative ability. So I think we'll start now, we'll start with averages and then move to ages and partnerships. Okay, first we'll do averages as usual as we do in all our concept sessions. We will first discuss the basics of the topic averages and then we will go about solving questions from this topic and then we will move on to partnerships and ages. So let me just share my screen. So what's the basic definition for averages? Averages is defined as the sum of all values divided by the total number of values. Correct? So averages is equal to sum of all values divided by total number of values. Or what can I say? Average is the equal distribution of the total amount among given values. So this is the basic definition for averages, right? So what is the other way in which you can define average? Average is nothing but equal distribution of total amount among given values. So in a class, if I say that there are 5 students and their average marks is 60, what does that mean? Does that mean that each student gets 60 marks? No. Correct? There can be one student who has got 0 marks, there can be one student who has got 80 marks, there can be one student who has got 100 marks, one student who has got 40 marks, etc. But here what are we doing? See, average is 60 means that if I distribute the marks equally among the students, each student will get 60. Correct? That's what it means. So I have 5 students and their average marks is 60 means that does not mean that each student separately has 60 marks. It means that if I distribute the total marks of all the students equally among the students, then each student will get 60. That is what average means. Now coming to average, the next thing is the formula. There are very few formulas that you will have to remember. One is the basic formula, this one, right? How to calculate average, sum of all values divided by number of values. That is the basic formula of average. Then you have something called as weighted average. So what is weighted average? See, for example, if I say that I have m quantities, okay, I have m quantities and their average is x. Okay, m quantities and their average is x. Similarly, I have another n quantities and their average is y. So I have m quantities whose average is x and I have n quantities whose average is y. So what is the weighted average? Weighted average is nothing but the net average of these two groups put together. So the weighted average is nothing but mx plus ny divided by m plus n. So this is the basic formula for weighted average. So if you have m quantities with average x and n quantities with average y, the net average or the weighted average of both of these put together is nothing but mx plus ny divided by m plus n. Similarly, you can do it for any number of variables. Let's say you have m quantities with x as the average, n quantities with y as the average, and let me say I have p quantities with q as the average. So in this case, what do you do? So the weighted average is nothing but mx plus ny plus pq divided by m plus n plus p. That's all. You can keep increasing the number and you can calculate the net average like this. So this is the concept of weighted average that you should know. The next important concept when it comes to averages that all of us should know is what is assumed average. How do you calculate assumed average? Assumed average, what is assumed average first of all? See, assumed average is actually used to calculate the actual average, okay? Assumed, what does the word assumed mean? Assumed means it's an assumption, correct? So basically, assumed average is nothing but an average that you are assuming or that is not the real average, but you assume that to be the average and then find out the exact average using that. So that is what assumed average means. Now let us explain that further with the help of an example so that it's clear to you. So assumed average is nothing but assumption, okay, an assumption that you make and take that value to be average, and it is actually, it doesn't need to be the exact average, of the given set of variables. Only thing is you are assuming some value. Let us say you have a few numbers. Let us take some numbers 40, 42, 48 and 54. So I have 4 numbers here. Now I have to find out the mean of these numbers. So what is the normal way in which I find out the mean of the numbers? It is nothing but 40 plus 42 plus 48 plus 54 divided by 4. This is the normal way in which I find out. Now, where does this concept of assumed average become useful for me? See, in assumed average, instead of adding so many big numbers, what I do is I randomly assume one value to be the average of these numbers. See, I have numbers varying from 40 till 54. So I am randomly taking one number. I am taking it as 47 and I am assuming that this is the average of the given numbers. So this is my assumed average, and using this assumed average I will find out the actual average. So why is this concept of assumed average very useful? See, by using concept of assumed average, what we do is we take any one number to be the average. We assume that to be the average of the given set of numbers, and using that we find out the actual average for the given set of numbers. So here how do we do this? And it is done by finding out the deviation of the given numbers from the assumed average. So here I have assumed that the average of these 4 numbers is 47. So what is I find out the difference of this average from each number that is given. Okay, so what is 40 minus 47? Minus 7. That is, this assumed average minus 7 is 40. So the deviation of 40 from 47 is minus 7. Similarly, what is the deviation of 42 from 47? That is minus 5. 48 minus 47, that is equal to 1, and 54 minus 47, that is equal to 7. So these are the deviations of the given numbers from the assumed average. Now if I find out the average of these deviations, what do I get? The average of these deviations, I get minus 7 minus 5 plus 1 plus 7 divided by 4. So when I do this, I get minus 12 plus 1 plus 7, that is minus 12 plus 8 by 4, or minus 4 by 4, that is equal to minus 1. Or what can I say? The actual average is nothing but 47 minus 1, right? That is equal to 46. That should be your actual average. So if you directly add this and do, then what do you get? So you have 42 plus 48, that is you have 90, correct? 90 plus 40, 90 plus 40 is 130, 130 plus 54, that is 184 divided by 4. That's what you are looking at. So here you have 16, 24, 6. This is how we actually find out. Now using this concept also, you got the same answer. See, the only advantage of using this concept of assumed average is that you need not add such big numbers. Now here it is easy because the numbers are only 2-digit numbers. Assume that the numbers are 3-digit numbers. So you have to add big 3-digit numbers and then get the average. So instead of that, if you assume one number in this range to be your assumed average and find out the deviation of each of the numbers from that value, you get the deviations, find the average of the deviations and subtract or add, basically add the assumed average to the deviation. So here 47 deviation is minus 1. So 47 minus 1 gives you 46, which is your actual average. So if I had got the deviation as plus 1, then what do I do? 47 plus 1, 48 will be your answer. So this is the concept of assumed averages, and it is useful to calculate averages because it can reduce the number of calculations that we do. Hope it's clear. Now next concept, the next important concept in averages, to find the average of a group of people, and in a group of people, let us say some set of people are moving out. What is the average of the remaining set? Okay, so or I can say that this type of questions is generally referred to as average of remaining group. Correct? If you see our video lessons, we would have mentioned a model which says average of remaining group. So what does this type of questions mean? See, if you have an average of a group of n elements, okay, if the average of a group of n elements is A and the average of a group of n1, okay, elements, if I am taking that to be A1, and this n1 elements is out of this n elements, okay, totally I have n elements whose average is A. Out of this n elements, n1 elements have average A1, then the average of the remaining n minus n1 elements is given by NA minus n1 A1 divided by n minus n1. So this is the average, the formula to find out the average of the remaining variables in a group. Generally, if let us say that there are a group of people, and out of which the average of the boys is given as some value, and if the boys are excluded, what will be the average of the remaining people in the group? So for questions of this sort, you can make use of this formula, right? So what does this formula mean? Basically, if I have a group of n elements and their average is A, and the average of a group of n1 elements, out of this n elements is A1, then the average of the remaining n minus n1 elements, that is, if I exclude this n1 elements from the group, the remaining set will have an average of Na minus n1 A1 by n minus n1. You needn't remember this formula directly. What are we trying to find out here? See, what is Na? Na is the sum of all the elements, right? All the elements minus the sum of all the elements that you are excluding. Okay? Sum of elements excluded divided by the number of elements that are there. Now, earlier there were n elements, now there are only n minus n1 elements. That's all. So if you know the concept, right, you needn't by heart this formula. Directly using the concept, you can solve the questions. So now let us move on to solving a few questions from averages, and as and when any more explanation is required, I'll give it to you then and there. So the first question for today's session is there on your screen. The average of 4 numbers A, B, C and D is 40. The average of 4 numbers A, B, E and F is also 40. Which of the following must be true? See, this question was a question that was asked in, I think, SBI PO in one of the past years. Yes? So try out this one and give me your answer. What is given here? Average of 4 numbers A, B, C and D is 40. Or what can I say? The sum of the 4 numbers, right? A plus B plus C plus D is equal to 40 into 4. Correct? What is average? A plus B plus C plus D divided by 4. That is equal to 40. That means that the sum of the 4 numbers is equal to 40. That is the average into the number of numbers that are there. That is equal to 160. Similarly, you are given A plus B plus E plus F. These 4 numbers average is also 40. So what does that mean? The sum of these 4 numbers is nothing but 40 into 4, which is equal to 160. Now what can you say? See, using the above equation, you can say C plus D, that is equal to 160 minus of A plus B. Similarly, using the second equation, you can say E plus F is equal to 160 minus of A plus B. So you have now, so what can you say? See, the value of C plus D, correct? That is equal to 160 minus A plus B. Similarly, value of E plus F is also equal to 160 minus A plus B. Or I can say C plus D is equal to E plus F from the given information. Now, if you look at the option, you have option B, which satisfies that criteria. So the correct answer for this question is option B. Let's look at the next question. The average of 4 positive integers is 72.5. The highest integer is 117 and the lowest integer is 15. The difference between the remaining 2 integers is 12. Which is the highest of these 2 remaining integers? So what is given here? The sum of the 4 positive integers is nothing but 72.5 into 4, or that is equal to 290. So we have got this, and we know the highest number is 117 and the lowest number is 15. Now, sum is 290, highest number is 117 and lowest number is 15. And the difference between the remaining 2 integers is 12, means if one number is x, the other number is going to be x plus 12. Now we know the sum of all of these is equal to 219, or I can say 15 plus x plus 12 plus 117, that is equal to 290. Or what is the value of x? That is, here it is 2x plus 12, correct? 2x plus 12 is equal to 290 minus 117 minus 15. So if you solve for this, what do you get? You get 290 minus 132. So, or I can say 2x is equal to 290 minus 132. 132 is the sum of these 2, correct? Then you have to add 12 also. So again 1 minus 12. So when you do this, you get 2x is equal to 146, or you get x is equal to 73. So if x is equal to 73, what is the value of x plus 12? X plus 12 has to be 75. So what is given here? The difference between the remaining two integers is 12, which is the highest of these two integers. So highest of these two integers is nothing but x plus 12, but that is not there in the given options. So the answer that we are looking at here is none of these, that is option D. X plus 12 is equal to 85. Did you get that? So let's look at the next question. Next one. The mean of the marks obtained by 100 students is 60. If the marks obtained by one of the students was incorrectly calculated as 75, whereas the actual marks obtained by him was 65, what is the correct mean of the marks obtained by the students? So whenever such questions come, see, the easier way to do it will be like this. Here what is given? The mean marks obtained by 100 students is given as 60. So what is the total marks of all these 100 students? Total marks is nothing but 100 into 60, that is 6000. So when you look at this total mark, what has happened is a student's mark was incorrectly written as 75. The actual mark was only 65. So what does that mean? Where the actual mark is 65, now they have given how many marks? 75 marks. So there is a variation of how much? 10 marks. Basically 10 marks they have put extra when they are calculating the total. So what was the actual total? The actual total was nothing but 6000 minus 10. Because the actual mark was only 65, they have written 75 and calculated. So they have actually given extra 10 marks. So the actual total is nothing but 6000 minus 10, or that is equal to 5990. Now what is the question? What is the correct mean of the marks obtained by the students? So this is the actual total marks. The actual total marks is equal to 5990. How many students are there? 100 students are there. So what is your average? 5990 by 100, or that is equal to 59.9, which is not there in the options. So the correct answer that we go with will be option D, none of these. So whenever you have such incorrect marks entered, just see the difference between the actual mark and the mark that has been entered. So either add that or subtract that from the total that you get accordingly, as per the question. Do that and then find out the correct total. Then find the average. Okay, see sometimes what we do is we can do it like this, right? 6000 minus 75 plus 65. This is again going to give you the same result. So that's why you needn't do it like this directly. You can write it in one step. Next question. The average age of 30 children in a class is 9 years. If the teacher's age is included, the average age becomes 10 years. Find the teacher's age. What is the conventional way of solving this question? See, if you have average age of 30 children is 9 years. So what is the sum of ages of the 30 children? 30 into 9, that is equal to 270. So to this 270, I am adding a teacher's age. Let the age of the teacher be X. So when I do that, the average is now becoming 10 years. Now how many people are there? See, this 270 plus X now represents the total number of people in the group. So when I divide this 270 plus X divided by 31, now there are 31 people. So this gives me my new average, which is equal to 10. From here I have to solve and find the value of X as 40. So this is the conventional way in which we solve this question. Now if we know the concept of equal distribution, you can solve this question even faster. So what is the way in which we solve this question using this concept of equal distribution? See, what is happening? There are 30 children in a class and their average is 9 years. So each child has an average age of 9 years. Like this, there are 30 children. Now what is happening? When the teacher is joining, the average age is becoming 10 years. So I can say that for each child, the average age is increasing by 1. Correct? So for all these 30 children, the average age is increasing by 1. Now, so what is happening? Basically, when I am adding a teacher into the group, for each of these children, 30 children, the average age is increasing by 1. And now the teacher is also now there in the group, right? She will also have an average age of 10 now. So what is the age of the teacher? That is nothing but 30 into 1 plus 10, that is equal to 40. See, how am I getting this? See, when you look at the teacher's age, okay, she is actually 40 years old. Out of this 40 years, what is the teacher doing? Her age, right? From her age, one age each goes to this 30 students whose average age earlier was 9 years. That's how their average is now becoming 10. Then what is the teacher's average age? That is also equal to 10, right? Because now the group's average age is 10 years. So what was the actual age of the teacher? 30 into 1 plus 10, that is equal to 40. So this way you will be able to arrive at the answer in one step. See, this method is also correct, but let's say if the numbers are big, using this method might be difficult or more time consuming. In such cases, if you know this concept, you will be able to arrive at the answer really faster. Okay, next question. What is the average of squares of the natural numbers from 1 to 41? So to find this, if we know the formula to find the sum of the squares of natural numbers, it will become very easy. What is the formula to find out the sum of squares of natural numbers? The formula to find the sum of squares of natural numbers is nothing but n into, if you have n natural numbers, the sum of squares of these natural numbers is given by n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 divided by 6. So this is the formula to find the sum of squares of n natural numbers. Now what is the average? So this is the sum of the squares of the natural number. The average is nothing but this whole value divided by n. How many numbers are there? N numbers are there. So the total divided by the number of numbers, that will give you the average. So what is the value that we are looking for? We are looking for the average of squares of n natural numbers is given by the formula n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 by 6. So here they are asking us the average of the squares of natural numbers from 1 to 41. So 1 to 41 means what is the value of n here? 41. So 41 plus 1, that is 42 into 2 into 41, that is 82 plus 1, that is 83 divided by 6. So when you solve this, you get the answer as 581. That is option D. Let's look at the next question. The average age of students of a class is 15.8 years. The average age of boys in the class is 16.4 years and that of the girls in the class is 15.4 years. The ratio of the number of boys to the girls in the class is dash. See how you approach this question is, if you approach this question using the concept of allegation, it becomes very, very easy. What is the actual conventional way in which you will approach this question? I assume that there are totally T students. Okay, totally there are T students, out of which I say that X students are boys. If there are X boys, how many girls are there? T minus X girls are there. Now what is the sum of ages, what is the total age of all the children in the class? That is nothing but 15.8 into T, that is equal to, this is the total age of all the students in the class, correct? The average of the class into the total number of students. So this is equal to 16.4x plus 15.4 into T minus X, that is the sum of ages of the boys plus the sum of ages of the girls. So this is the general way in which you solve this question, correct? Solve for this and get the answer. Like you will get the ratio between, if you solve this equation, you will get the ratio between T and X. So you will actually get T and X is in the ratio of 5:2. So if I say that totally there are 5 students, how many boys are there? 2 boys are there. So how many girls will be there? There will be 3 girls. Okay, so the ratio between the number of boys to girls is 2:3. This is the normal way in which you would approach such a question. Now, if you know the concept of allegation, you will get the answer for this question in less than 10 seconds. How do you do it using the concept of allegation? See, I have some number of boys. Their average I know is 16.4 and I have some number of girls, their average is 15.4. When I find out the net average of these two put together, I am getting the average of the class as 15.8. So using allegations, 15.8 minus 15.4, that is 0.4, 16.4 minus 15.8, that is equal to 0.6. So the ratio in which I am taking these two people is nothing but in the ratio 0.4 is to 0.6, or that is equal to 2:3. So if you solve it using this way, in one step, in less than 10 seconds, I am getting the answer. This is the conventional way in which you would approach the question. So don't go for this method in the examination. This is the faster method. Correct answer for this question will be option D, 2:3. Let's look at the next question. The average marks scored by Ganesh in English, Science, Maths and History is 15 is less than 15 from that scored by him in English, history, geography and mathematics. What is the difference of marks in science and geography secured by him? So what is given here? See, what is the average marks that Ganesh scores in English, science, maths and history? It is nothing but E plus S plus H plus M divided by 4. Similarly, what is the average marks that he gets in English, history, geography and maths? E plus H plus G plus M divided by 4. Now what are they saying? This average is 15 less than this value, or I can say the average that he gets in English, history, geography and maths is 15 more than what he gets for English, science, maths and history, and this is equal to 15. Or what can I say? If I take this 4 to the right hand side, I will get this, I can put it in brackets, into 4. So I can say his marks in English plus history plus geography plus maths minus his marks in English plus science plus maths plus history, that is equal to 60. So you can cancel out E and D. If you take out this bracket, you can cancel out E and D, M and M, H and H. Or I can say G minus S, that is equal to 60. What is G minus S? That is the difference between the marks he scores in science and geography. That's what they are asking for. That is 60. Correct answer is option C. Let us look at the next question. A mathematics teacher tabulated the marks secured by 35 students of 8th class. The average of their marks was 72. If the marks secured by Rima was written as 36 instead of 86, find the correct average marks up to 2 decimal places. So we had done a similar question earlier. So this one would be easy. So try it out and give me the answer. Rima's actual mark was 86, but it was written as only 36. So what does that mean? 86 minus 36, that is equal to 50. So if you look at the actual total marks, it should be 50 marks more. Whatever is the total currently, it should actually be 50 marks more, because Rima's mark, they have taken it only as 36, but her actual mark was 86. So what was the total that they got by taking the Rima's mark as 36? They got 35 into 72. Correct? So to this total now they have to add 50, because this is the actual marks that we have. Now what is the correct average? This divided by 35. Correct? This will be the correct average that you are looking at. That is the correct total of marks divided by the total number of people. See, in this question, the question is very easy, but at this point, the way in which you calculate is very, very important. Here, don't try to multiply 35 into 72, find out that value and then do the calculation. The best thing to do will be divide 35 with both of these terms. The first term will become this 35 and this 35 will get cancelled. This will become 72. Correct? This will become 50 divided by 35. So just simplify for this 50 divided by 35. What will you get? See, 5 will go in both. Correct? 10 divided by 7. What is 10 by 7? 10 by 7 is equal to 1.428, right? Or that is equal to 73.428 is approximately, you can take it as 73.43. So if you look at the options, the correct answer here is option D. Okay, this question is very easy. Only thing you have to note here is how you simplify and arrive at the answer. Do not multiply this, add it and then try to simplify it. Directly cancel out 35 from this term, do 50 by 35 and then try to get the answer. So let's look at the next question now. Average age of father and his 2 sons is 27 years. 5 years ago, the average age of the 2 sons was 12 years. If the difference between the ages of the 2 sons is 4 years, then the present age of the father is dash. So let me assume that 5 years ago, right? I am assuming that 5 years ago, let the ages of the sons be x and x plus 4, because they have given difference between ages of the 2 sons is 4 years. So 5 years ago, if one son was x years old, the other son was x plus 4 years old. First assumption that I have made. Then what they are saying, 5 years ago the average age of the 2 sons was 12 years, or x plus 4 divided by 2. That is the average, correct? This is the age of the first son, age of the second son divided by 2. That is equal to 12. Or I can say 2x plus 4 is equal to 24, or I can say 2x is equal to 20, or x is equal to 10. So if one son's age was 10, the other son's age, that is x plus 4, that is equal to 14. Now this ages that I have got is their ages 5 years ago. Keep that in mind. Now, what are they asking in the question? Average age of the father and his 2 sons is 27 years. 5 years ago, the average age of the son was 12 years. You have to find the present age of the father. So, presently, what will be the age of each of the son? The first son will be 15 years and the second son will be 14 plus 5, that is equal to 19 years. Correct? Now, you have a father, let us assume his age is x divided by 3. This is equal to 27. From here, find out the value of x. Correct? So what do you get? You get x is equal to 27 into 3. That is 81 minus 15 plus 19. What is 15 plus 19? Correct? So when you solve this, you get 81 minus 34. Yes, that is 47. But I get 47. Sorry. Divided by 3 is not there, no? 47. Yeah, x is equal to 47. Yes, that is what you get. The correct answer here will be option B. Good. Now, one thing you have to note here is, don't do it this way when you are doing it in the examination. It is very, very time consuming. Now, let me try to solve this question in a very easy way. Okay. See, what you have to remember is that, let me assume that there are, let us take two numbers, 10 and 12. What is the average of these two numbers? 10 plus 12 divided by 2, that is equal to 11. Correct? Now, if I am adding 1 to each of this number, what do I get? I get 11 and 13. What is the average of 11 and 13? 11 plus 13 divided by 2, that is 24 by 2, that is equal to 12. So, what can you note here? See, to the given numbers, if I keep adding a certain number, that is, I added 1 to 10 and I added 1 to 12. So, what happened when you look at the net average that you get, the average is also getting added by 1. Earlier the average was 11, now the average is 11 plus 1, that is 12. So, for any given set of numbers, if you are adding a value to all the numbers, right, the average will also increase by that much. So, keep this concept in your mind first. So, in this question, what have they given? The average age of the two sons was 12 years, 5 years ago. So, currently what will be their ages? See, both their ages, if I took this ages as x and x plus 4, right, 5 years ago, currently this person's age will be x plus 5 and this person's age will be x plus 4 plus 5. Basically, I am adding 5 to both the given numbers, correct? So, what does that mean? My average also has to increase by 5. So, currently, what will be the average of the both the sons? Currently, the average of both the sons will be 12 plus 5, that is equal to 17. If you know this, if you do it this way, solving it will become much easier, right? And then, what are they saying? 5 years ago, average of the age of the two sons is 12 years. So, currently the average age of the two sons is 17 years, and then they are saying that the average age of all the three people put together is 27, correct? The father and the two sons put together is 27. So, what is that? So, what is the sum of ages of the two sons? Sum of ages of the two sons is nothing but 17 into 2, that is equal to 34. Now, I know 34, that is 34 plus the father's age divided by 3, that is giving me 27. So, what is the father's age? 81 minus 34. So, if you do it this way, you will get the answer faster. Okay, so stick to this method when you do it in the examination. See, when you are adding some number to all the given values, okay, the average will also increase by that much. So, that is the concept that you need to know. So, earlier 5 years ago, their average was 12, currently their average will be 17. So, if their average is 17, the sum of their ages is going to be 34. Easily you can find out the age of the father, correct? You need not, like in the previous case, how we found out the age of each son, that and all is not required. I hope it is clear. The correct answer here will be option B, 47. Let's look at the next question. 3 science classes A, B and C take a life science test. The average score of the students of class A is 83. The average score of students of class B is 76. The average score of class C is 85. The average score of class A and B is 79 and the average score of class B and C is 81. Then the average score of classes A, B and C is dash. So try this one and give me the answer. I have not given options for this question. So this question was also a part of SBI PO examination. Very good question it is. So if you go try to solve it using the conventional way, it's going to take a lot of time. So the best way, you should not use the conventional way. Try it out and tell me how you approach the question. See, to solve this question, if you know the concept of allegations, it becomes very, very easy. 3 classes, they are taking a life science test. The average score of the students in class A is 83. The average score of students in class B is 76. The average score of students in class C is 85. The average score of class and A and B put together is 79. So what does this mean? See, I have a set of students, I have a class A students whose average is 83, class B students whose average is 76, and their net average, correct? A and B put together, the average is 79. So what will be the ratio of the number of students in both the classes? 79 minus 76, that is 3. 83 minus 79, that is 4. So A is to B, right? Number of students in class A is to class B is in the ratio 3 is to 4. Similarly, you have a set of students, in class B, the average is 76, class C, the average is 85. So put together, the net average is 81. So what is the ratio here? Again, 4 is to 5. So I can say that the average of class B is 76, average of class C is 85, put together the net average is 81. Or I can say that the ratio of number of students in class B is to C is 4 is to 5. Or what is the ratio of the total number of students in classes A is to B is to C? That is nothing but 3 is to 4 is to 5. I am clubbing this and writing. Okay, so number of students in class A, B, C, I can say it is in the ratio 3 is to 4 is to 5, or 3x, 4x and 5x are the number of students in class A, B and C. Okay, now you have to find out the average of the entire class A, B and C now. So how do you find out the average? See, I know average of class A is 83. How many students are there? 3x students. 83 into 3x, correct? Next, I have 76 students in, average of class B is 76. How many students are there? 4x students. So that is the total marks in class B. Next, coming to class C, I have average is 85. 85 into 5x divided by, we have 3x plus 4x plus 5. So this is your average that you are looking at. Solve for this and you will get the answer. So approximately as 81.5, which is correct. Okay. So the correct answer for this question will be 81.5 approximately. Is it clear? A very good question. So this question is like really good. So but if you know the concept, now if you know the concept of allegation, approaching it is very easy. But if we try to use any conventional method, we will get stuck. Too many calculations and you will not know what to do where. Yes, is it clear? So let's look at the next question. The next question is there on your screen. There are 3 positive numbers. 1/3 of the average of all the 3 numbers is 8 less than the value of the highest number. The average of the lowest and the second lowest number is 8. What is the highest number? So try this one and give me the answer. So how do you approach this question? There are 3 positive numbers. 1/3 of the average of all the 3 numbers is 8 less than the value of the highest number. And it is given that the average of the lowest and the second lowest number is 8. So you have 3 numbers. So average of the lowest and second lowest number is 8 means what is the sum of the lowest and the second lowest number? Sum of the lowest and second lowest, that is equal to 8 into 2, correct? That is equal to 16 because their average is 8, so their sum has to be 16. So what is the sum of all the 3 numbers now? 16 plus the highest number. So this divided by 3 is going to be the average of the given 3 positive integers. Now what is given here? The average, right? There are 3 positive integers. 1/3 of the average of all the 3 numbers, 1/3 of this value, that is equal to 8 less than the value of the highest number. Which is the highest number? The highest number is h. So h minus 8, correct? This 1/3 of this average is equal to h minus 8. Equate for this, what do you get? You get 16 plus h, that is equal to 9h minus 72, or when you solve you get 8h is equal to 88, or h is equal to 11. So which is the highest number that you are looking at? The highest number in this group is 11. Here the options are not given, but if the options are given, this is how you approach the question. Very easy one, no? If you form this equation correctly, solving it will become very easy. The next question is there on your screen. The captain of a cricket team of 11 members is 26 years old and the wicket keeper is 3 years older. If the ages of these two are excluded, the average age of the remaining players is 1 year less than the average age of the whole team. What was the average age of the team? So what is given here? There is a cricket captain. Okay, the captain is 26 years old. The captain is 26 years old and the wicket keeper, how many years old is he? He is 3 years elder than the captain, that is he is 29 years old. So what was the sum of the ages of these two people? It is nothing but 26 plus 29, that is equal to 55. Now what are they saying? See, if there are, let the average of the whole team, if that is A, what is the sum of the the ages of all the players in the team? It is nothing but 11A. Correct. So this is the total sum of ages of all the 11 players in the team. Now from this, if I am reducing 55, that is I am removing these two people, I have how many people now? I have only 9 people. My average is becoming what? It is becoming A minus 1. The average is reducing by 1. Solve for the value of A, that's all. That's how you solve this question. What is given here? There is a cricket team captain and a wicket keeper. Their sum of their ages is 55. Now, from the total ages of the given cricket team members, I am removing these two people. So, what is my total age now? 11A minus 55. How many people are there? Only 9 people are there. What is the new average? The new average is nothing but 1 minus what the previous average was. So, that is equal to A minus 1. So just solve for this to find out the value of A. When you solve it, what do you get the value of A as? Anybody got the value of A? You will get A is equal to 23 years. What is the average age of the team? Option A, 23 years. Clear? The average age of family is 24 years, which is consisting of 5 members, out of which the youngest being 6 years old. What would be the average age of the family just before the birth of the child? What is given here? The average age of a family is 24 years, consisting of 5 members. So what is the sum of all the members in this family? 24 into 5. Sum of ages is 24 into 5, that is equal to 120. Now, the youngest child is 6 years old, correct? 6 years ago, what was the sum of the ages of all the people? See, what is happening here? You can see that the current sum is 120, correct? So 6 years ago means, see, because what are they asking? Before the birth of this child, what was the average of the family? So before the birth of the child, how many members were there in the family? Only 4 members were there, and 4 members were there. Okay, let's keep that there. Now, before 6 years, right? The youngest child is 6 years. So when should I find out the average? I have to find the average 6 years ago. So what was the sum of the people 6 years ago? The sum of all the people, ages of all the people 6 years ago is nothing but 120 minus 6 into 5, correct? That's 120 minus 30. Basically, everybody's age is going to be reducing by 6 years, correct? So 120 minus 30, that is equal to 90. So this is going to be the sum of ages of the members 6 years ago. Now, at this point, what is their average? See, now the 5th member is not born. 6 years ago, the 5th member is not born. Okay, so just before his birth, that means you should not include him in the group. 6 years ago, anyway, even if he was born, his age was 0 years, correct? So this 90 is the sum of ages of the people 6 years ago. Now they are asking what is the average age of the family just before the birth of this child. So that is nothing but 90 divided by 4, which is equal to 22.5 years. So the answer for this question is option B, 22.5 years. So what did we do? The sum of the current age of all the members is 120. 6 years ago, their ages was 90. Now in this 90, we are not including the person who was born. Even if we are including him, he was 0 years old 6 years ago. Correct? But in the question, they have very clearly said, find out the average just before the birth of this child. So 90 by only 4 members are there. So 22.5 is your answer, that is option B. So with this we are coming to end of questions that has been chosen on averages. Now the next topic that we have for today is ages. Right, ages is fairly a simple topic, like it's like you can say it's almost like a subtopic of averages, because most questions on ages also include the concept of averages in it. So if you see, generally questions from the topic ages are come from either any one of the following types. See, either you are given some simple or complex conditions, correct? Simple conditions are given where you will have to, using the given condition, you will have to form equation and then find out the ages of the people in the question, or sometimes you are asked questions based on some complex conditions about the ages of the people. Complex condition about ages of persons are given and you have to find out the respective ages. Or sometimes ages involving ratios. Let's say the ratio of ages of A and B 10 years ago was so much. What will be the ratio of their ages at present? Questions of this sort, right, which involves ratios. Then now one important thing that you will have to keep in mind is that if the current age of a person, okay, or current or present age of a person, if I take it as X, okay, n years ago, what will his age be? N years ago his age will be X minus 1. N years hence, okay, n years hence or n years later his age will be X plus n. So this is one very basic thing that we will make use in questions. When we frame the equations, this particular concept will be very important. Okay, other than that, there are no formulas that you will have to remember from this topic. Only thing that you have to do is, with the given information, try to form the equation correctly and solve to get the answer. Okay, I think in the previous questions on averages itself, if you see, a lot of questions involved ages. So those are the questions that is based on ages, where averages is used. Okay, so that is one important type that we have already covered in the topic averages. Now let us look at the remaining types of questions that generally comes from the topic ages. First question is there on your screen. So this question here uses the concept of ratios when it comes to ages. What is given here? The present age of Vikas and Vishal are in the ratio 15:8. 10 years hence, their ages will be in the ratio 5:3. Find their present ages. Whenever you have such questions, what you do is assume the present age of Vikas, right? Vikas, first person is Vikas. Assume present age of Vikas to be 15x and Vishal to be 8x. So what will be their ages 10 years hence? It will be 15x plus 10 and Vishal's age will be 8x plus 10. Now this ratio of their ages 10 years later is given as 5:3. Solve for this and find the present ages. So whenever such question comes, if you are here for this particular question, we have not given options. If you have options, at times you can look at the options and arrive at the answer also very easily. Right, you need not do the complete calculations. Many times by looking at the options itself, you will be able to arrive at the answer. Like for example, they are asking us the present ages of these two people. One thing that you can see here is that Vishal's age is a multiple of 8 and Vikas's age is a multiple of 15. So check in the option, which option is like if the option is given, let us say one option is 60 and 24, not 24, let us take 18. Okay, so here if you see here, this 60 is a multiple of 15. So this can be Vikas's age, but 18, is that a multiple of 8? No, it's not a multiple of 8, correct? So this cannot be the possible correct option. So what I am trying to say is, look at the options and see if you are able to find a multiple of 15 and a multiple of 8 together in one option. Possibly that could be your answer. If you have no other option which satisfies that criteria, directly mark that as the answer. Okay, so here actually when you solve this, you will get x is equal to 4. When you solve this, you will get x is equal to 4. So 15x will be 60 and 8x will be 32. So the answers that we are looking at is 60 and 32. So if you see here, 15 into, see, 60 is a multiple of 15, 32 is a multiple of 8. So by looking at the options itself, you could have arrived at the answer. Hope it is clear. Next one. Ronit's age is 10 years more than Rohit's age. Also, Ronit was twice as old as Rohit 15 years ago. What will be the age of Ronit 6 years later? So Ronit's age is 10 years more than Rohit's age. So Ronit is equal to Rohit's age plus 10. So if this is the present age of Ronit and this is the present age of Rohit, Ronit is equal to Rohit plus 10. Now also Ronit was twice as old as Rohit 15 years ago. So what was Ronit's age 15 years ago? Current age minus 15. What was Rohit's age 15 years ago? Now what are they given? They have given that 15 years ago Ronit was twice as old as Rohit. So 15 years ago Ronit was twice as old as Rohit then. So this is the second equation that you have. Now put the value of Ronit in this, substitute Ronit is equal to Rohit plus 10 here, find out the age of Rohit, backtrace and find out the age of Ronit, that's all, right. So here what do you get? You have Rohit's age plus R plus 10 minus 15, that is equal to 2 into Rohit minus 30. So if you solve for this, you will get age of Rohit, that is the present age of Rohit, you will get it as this, you will take it this side, so it will become Rohit. Here you have 30 plus 10, 40. 40 minus 15, that is equal to 25. So the present age of Rohit is 25. If the present age of Rohit is 25, what is the present age of Ronit? Present age of Ronit will be 35, correct? Because present age of Ronit is 10 more than that of Rohit. What is the question? What will be the age of Ronit 6 years later? So 6 years later, his age will be 35 plus 6, that is equal to 41. Correct answer for this question will be option A, 41. Let's look at the next question. So this is also on the concept of ratios. Question on ages using concept of ratios. Try this and give me the answer. 18 years ago, the ratio of A's age to B's age was 8:13. Present ratio of their ages is 5:7. That's what they're trying to write. Present age of their ages ratio. Present ratio of their ages. Present ratio of their ages. That is what it should be. I think it's a typo error. Is 5:7. What is the present age of B? So if I say present age of A is 5x, present age of B is 7x. Now 18 years ago, okay, 18 years ago means A's age will be 5x minus 18. 18 years ago B's age will be 7x minus 18, and this ratio is given as 8:13. So solve for this and find out the value of x and the present age of B. See, now to solve this question, instead of doing all the steps, very easily you will get the answer. In one step you will get the answer. How is that? I know present age of A is 5x and present age of B is 7x. Now, so the present age of B has to be a multiple of 7. Look at the options that is given. There is only one multiple of 7. So this has to be your answer. So the answer you should be able to get it in one step. See, this was the point that I was trying to make previously. In many questions, you need not actually sit and solve this full thing, right? It's going to consume a lot of time. And if you see in the current examination pattern, like the SBI PO notification was just released, right? And what is the pattern? You have 35 questions to be answered in 20 minutes. So if you follow such smart methods in the examination, you will be able to arrive at the answer really faster. So here, I know the present age of B is a multiple of 7. Looking at the options, there is only one multiple of 7, that is 70. Directly mark the answer as option B. But this is the actual way of solving it, not required in the examination. You will actually find out the value of x and then find out what is 7x. That is what you actually do. Okay? Next question. Q is as much younger than R as he is older than T. If the sum of ages of R and T is 50 years, what is definitely the difference between R and Q's age? So for this question, if you understand the wordings that is given in the question very clearly, it will be very easy to solve. So what is given? Q is as much younger than R as he is older than T. Okay, so R minus Q, correct? Q is younger than R by some number of years, and the same number of years Q is older than T, or R minus Q is equal to Q minus T. That's what they are trying to say. And it is given that sum of ages of R and T is 50 years. So using the first statement, I can say R plus T, that is equal to 2Q, and here I know R plus T is equal to 50, or I can say 2Q is equal to 50 or Q is equal to 25. Now what is the question? What is definitely the difference between R and Q's age? I have to find out the value of Q minus R. See, using the given information, I can only find out what is the value of Q. Can I find out what is Q minus R? I cannot find out with the given information. So the correct answer for this question will be data is inadequate. Option D. Let's look at the next question. 4 years ago, Shyam's age was 3/4 times that of Ram. 4 years hence, Shyam's age will be 5/6 times that of Ram. What is the present age of Shyam? So if I take the ages of Shyam and Ram as S and R, what can I say? See, 4 years ago means S minus 4. Age of Shyam is equal to 3/4 that of Ram. So this is my first equation. Next 4 years hence. 4 years hence means S plus 4. Present ages is S and R. So 4 years before means S minus 4 and R minus 4. 4 years hence means 4 years later. So S plus 4 and R plus 4. So Shyam's age will be 5/6 that of Ram's. Correct? So you have two equations here. Now solve for these two equations. You will have to find out the value of S. So what do you get the value of S as? Very easy, no? Two linear equations. You have to just frame the equation and solve. So what is it? What is the answer that you get? Right? Take it to the other side and do 4S minus 3R is equal to 4, and you have 6S minus 5R that is equal to minus 4. So when you actually solve it, you should get the value of S is equal to 16. If you solve, you will get R is 20, but that's not required. You just need the value of S. You should get the answer as option A, 16 years. Next question. So with this, we are finishing the type of questions that can come from the topic ages. And now the last topic that we are going to be discussing today is partnerships. Okay. Now this is also a fairly easy topic if you know the logic behind it. Yes. First of all, what is partnership? Partnership refers to a business wherein 2 or more people are investing money to start a business or run a business, and what they do is at the end of let us say a given period, if the company or the business makes a profit, they share the profit among themselves, right? So questions involving partnership is generally of this kind. Now there are some important terms that you will have to remember when it comes to the topic partnership. The first term is capital. What is capital? The money that is invested in a company to start it or to run it is called as the capital, and the people who invest these monies, they are generally called as partners, right? So I am creating a company, I am investing money in the company, so I am a partner in the company, and after a certain period when the company is making a profit, I will get a share of a profit. Okay, now the share of the profit that I get will depend upon the amount that I have invested and the period for which the investment has been made. So this is the very, very important point that you have to keep in mind. Now the profit that a partner gets, okay, out of from a business depends on the amount of money that he has invested into the period for which the investment has been done. See, if I am investing more amount for more period, I will get more share of the profit. If I invest less amount for lesser period, I will get lesser profit, or basically depending on the product of the amount that I invest and the period for the investment, the profit will be shared. For example, now when it comes to this, there are 3 possible cases. Let us assume each case and then you will understand what I am trying to say in a better way. So I am assuming there is first case, okay. In the first case, I am assuming that there is a person A who is investing X rupees, okay, for a period of P years, and there is a person B who is investing Y rupees for a period of Q years. Now, in what ratio will I share the profit between these two people at the end of a certain period? See, what I do is, what is the product of the investment of A and the period for which he has invested? It is nothing but X into P. What is the product of the amount that is invested by B and the period for which he has invested? It is nothing but Y into Q. Correct? So in what ratio will I share the profits between these two people? I will share the profits between these two people in the ratio X is to P is to Y is to Q. Okay. So here I am considering 2 people who are investing 2 different amounts for different periods of time. So in that case, the profit between these 2 people at the end of a certain period will be shared in the ratio X into P is to Y is to Q. That is the product of the amount that they have invested into the period for which they have invested. Now, let us take another case, okay, where A is investing, let us say X rupees, okay, for P years. Now, B is investing Y rupees for P years again. So, at the end of this P years, in what ratio will the profit be shared between them? X into P is to Y into P, or I can say profit will be shared between them in the ratio X is to Y. Why is this? Because here the period of investment remains the same. So in the first case, the period of investment is different. The amount that they invested is also different. In the second case, the period of investment is same. So what you have to remember is that if two people are investing in a company and the period of investment is same, the profit has to be shared in the ratio of the amount that is invested, because the period here is same. Now let us look at the third case. Now you have A who is investing X rupees for let us say P years. Then you have B who is also investing X rupees for Q years. Now in this case, in what ratio will the profit be shared? See, X into P is to X into Q, or I can say profit will be shared in the ratio P is to Q. That is the period of investment. Why is that? Because here the amount is the same. So I consider only the period. So these are generally the three possible cases that can come when it comes to sharing of profit among people. So these three conditions you have to keep in mind. But in general, just remember this: profit will be shared between partners in the ratio of the amount that they have invested into the period for which they have invested. If you know this concept, solving any question from this topic becomes very easy. So let us now try out a few questions from partnerships and see. Okay, first question. A, B and C started a business investing 1,400 rupees, 4,200 rupees and 7,000 rupees respectively. The total profit is 8,100. Find C's share. So here, if you look in this question, nothing is given about the period of investment. So we can assume that they are investing it for the same time period, right? Otherwise, they will mention A is investing 1,400 rupees for 8 months, then B is investing so much money for so many months. Nothing like that is given here. So I, in general, assume that the period of investment is same for all the three people. So in what ratio will the profit be shared? If the period of investment is the same, the profit, see, it is of case 2. Correct? Here period of investment is same. So profit will be shared in the ratio of the amount invested. Have A, B, C. Profit will be shared in the ratio 1,400 is to 4,200 is to 7,000, or this is 2 is to 6 is to 10. Correct? I took it as 1. Yeah. I took it as 1. Sorry about that. So here what will be the share of C? The share of C will be, if the total profit is 10 plus 6 plus 2, that is, total is 18. Out of this 18 parts, 10 part will belong to C. Correct? So if totally I am getting 8,100 rupees as profit, the share of C will be 10 by 18 into 8,100. Okay? So if you solve this, you will get the answer as 4,500. Yes, the correct answer is option D. Next one. A and B started a business in which A invested rupees 10,000 for 1 year, B invested rupees 20,000 for 2 years. At the end of the profit received by them is 5,000. What is A's share? So here, if you see, A and B are investing different amounts for different periods of time. So in what ratio will the profit be shared between them? The profits will be shared between them in the ratio of their investment into the period for which they have invested. So what is A's? A has invested 10,000 rupees for 1 year. B has invested 20,000 rupees for 2 years. So in what ratio will the profit be shared between them? It will be shared between them in this ratio, that is 1:4. Now at the end they are receiving 5,000 rupees profit. So profit between A and B will be shared in the ratio 1:4. So what does that mean? What will be A's share? That is, if there are totally 5 parts, out of this 5 parts, 1 part belongs to A. So now I am totally getting 5,000 rupees. So out of this 5,000 rupees, what will be A's share? 5,000 into 1 by 5, that is equal to 1,000 rupees. That is option D. Next one. 3 partners A, B and C had business. A, whose money has been used for 4 months, claimed 1/8 of the profit. B, whose money was used for 6 months, has claimed 1/3 of the profit. C had invested rupees 1560 for 6 months. How much did A contribute? So how do you solve this question? Try it and give me the answer. 3 partners A, B and C had business. A, whose money had been used for 4 months, claimed 1/8 of the profit. So what have they given? See, A is investing for 4 months and is claiming 1/8 of the profit. B is investing for 6 months and is claiming 1/3 of the profit. Now if you look at C, what are they saying? C has invested, I think it should be 1560 for 8 months, okay? Please make this as 8. There is a typo error here in the question, please correct that. So C has invested 1560 rupees for 8 months, okay? So the amount invested by C is 1560 and the period of investment is 8. Now, what is the question? What are they asking? See, how much did A and B contribute? So, in what ratio is actually the profit being shared? See, A is getting 1/8 of the profit. B is getting 1/3 of the profit. So, how much profit is C getting? See, if the total profit is 1 minus the share of A and B, that will give us the share of C. Correct? See, what I am trying to find out is A is getting 1/8 of the profit. B is getting 1/3 of the profit. So, put together A and B will get 1/8 plus 1/3. That is 11/24 of the profit. So, what is the share of C? The share of C is nothing but 1 minus this 11/24. That is the share of C, or that is equal to 13/24. So, in what ratio is the profit now shared between A, B and C? 1/8 is to 1/3 is to 13/24. This is the ratio in which A, B and C are sharing the profits, or this is equal to 3 is to 8 is to 13. Okay. I hope it is clear what I have written. See, A is investing for 4 months and getting 1/8 of the profit. B is investing for 6 months and it is getting 1/3 of the profit. So, C will get 13/24 of the profit. That is, if the whole profit is 1, out of that 1/8 goes to A, 1/3 goes to B, and the remaining 13/24 goes to C, or the ratio in which the profits is shared between A, B and C is 3 is to 8 is to 13. I have just taken the LCM here and written that. Now, what do I know? I know the ratio of the profit shared between A is to C is 3 is to 13. From this I can say that, because in the question they are asking how much A and B contributed. So, if I say that A has invested N rupees for 4 months, correct? So, the amount invested by A into the period of investment, that is 4 months, divided by the amount invested by C. How much amount has C invested? 1560. What is the period? Into 8. This is equal to 3/13. Correct? From this you find out what is N. If you solve, you will get N is equal to, what do you get? Here you get 4N is equal to 1560 into, you get 4N is equal to 1560 into 8 into 3 divided by 13. So, when you solve this, you will get N is equal to 720. So, try out this one. A and B invested in the ratio of 3 is to 2. If 5% of the profit goes to charity and A got rupees 855 as his share, find the profit, find the total profit. Very easy question. A and B is investing money in the ratio 3 is to 2. So, what is the share of A actually? See, out of a total 5, 3/5 A is getting. Correct? 3/5 A is getting. So, 3/5 of some value X is equal to 855. Okay? See, I know that A and B are investing in the ratio 3 is to 2. So, what does that mean? 3/5 of the profit A will get and 2/5 of the profit B will get. That much I can say. I can say this for sure. So, if the total profit, okay, that is being distributed is X, then 3/5 of X is 855, or what is X? X is equal to 855 into 5 divided by 3, that is equal to 1425. So, this is the profit that is being distributed between A and B. Now, in the question, what are they saying? 5% of the total profit goes to charity and the remaining is going to A and B. Correct? So, what does this X represent? See, this X is the profit that is being distributed between A and B. Now, out of this X rupees, 3/5 is A's and remaining is B's. That's what we have got. So, what is the, what does this X account to? It accounts to 95% of the total profit, because 5% of this total profit is going to charity and this remaining 95% is only being divided between A and B in this ratio. So, I know that 95% of the profit is accounting to 1425. So, 100% of the profit will account to how much? 1425 into 100 divided by 95. Solve for this, you will get the answer as 1500. So, the correct answer here will be option C, 1500. I hope it is clear. See, I assumed that A and B are investing in the ratio 3:2. So, the profit has to be shared between them in the ratio 3:2. So, if the out of 5, 3 out of 5 will be A's and 2 out of 5 will be B's. That is the fraction of profit that they get. In the question they have given 5% goes to charity. So, remaining 5% goes to charity. So, remaining 95% is shared between A and B. So, I just assume that this 95%, whatever value that you get, no, that is equal to X. So, 3/5 of that is 855. So, what is X? X is 1425. So, the 95% of the total profit is 1425. So, what is 100%? 100 into 1425 divided by 95. The last question for today's session, it's there on your screen. X, Y and Z hired a field for rupees 800 for the whole year. X put in 50 cows for 2 months, Y 80 cows for 5 months and Z 60 cows and 30 calves for 4 months. How much Z pays if one cow eats as much as 2 calves? So, again very easy question. What is given here? X, Y and Z are hiring a field for 800 rupees for a whole year. Out of this, X is putting 50 cows for 2 months. Now, Y is putting 80 cows for 5 months. Z is putting 60 cows for 4 months plus 30 calves for 4 months. Now, in the question they have given that 30 calves are equivalent to, see, one cow eats as much as 2 calves, or I can say 30 calves are equivalent to 15 cows. So, this 30 calves are equivalent to putting 15 cows for 4 months. So, the ratio in which they have used the field is like this. So, here 30 calves is equivalent to 15 cows. So, what is the ratio in which they have used the field? So, 100, 400, here it is 300. Correct? So, they have used the field in the ratio 1:4:3. So, the payment of rupees 800 also they have to split between them in the ratio 1:4:3. So, how much should Z pay? So, 3 out of, totally how many parts are there? 4 plus 1, 5, 5 plus 3, 8. So, 3 out of 8 of the total amount C has to pay. That is going to be, sorry, Z's share, right? Not C, Z's share. So, Z's share is equal to 3 out of 8 of 800. That is equal to 300. Okay. So, the correct answer for this question will be option D, that is 300. Here X has used 50 cows for 2 months, Y 80 cows for 5 months, Z 60 cows for 4 months and 30 calves for 4 months. Now, 30 calves is equivalent to 15 cows. So, I can actually say that he has used 75 cows for 4 months. So, total that comes to 300. So, this is the ratio in which they have used the field, and so this is the ratio in which they have to share the money for the field. So, what will be the share of Z? 3/8 into 100, that is 300. Okay. So, I hope the questions that we did today was clear. That's it from us for now. So, all the very best with your preparations. If you do have any doubts, please do let me know in the forum. I'll definitely help you out. So, I'll see you in the next concept session. And this is Gayatri signing off till then. Take care. Good night.